Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on this video. Now, Hannah is about to turn 40 and is probably in the best shape of her life. The good news for you guys is I'm going to take you through the steps we took her to get to this point. Now, we are not fitness professionals. We are just everyday people with day jobs and about 90 minutes in our day to work out. So we're going to talk you through all the things Hannah did, the steps, the processes, and how she achieved her dream physique. The first part is you need to have a goal and a starting point. Hannah started this journey at around 72 kg and her target was to be 66 kilograms. She didn't want to be skinny or just lighter. She actually wanted to be stronger, more athletic, more flexible, and in better overall shape. So it was key that she could take in enough calories to keep her strength and her muscle definition at a very high level. The first step in this is you need to know your B.M.R, not BMI. B.M.R, which is your basal metabolic rate. This is the amount of calories you burn at rest. The way I see it is the amount of calories you need if you spend the whole day doing. There are many calculators on the internet you can use. My recommendation is one that uses the Catch-Mercado formula. It integrates your body fat percentage. You can do the calculation without it, but because Hannah has quite a few DEXA scan results to go to, we use that formulation. Part 2 is all about the tools that you're going to need outside of the obvious stuff like your gym equipment, your trainers, that kind of stuff, right? Number 1, you need a robust food and calorie tracker. We recommend MyFitnessPal, and that's what we're going to use in this video. Number 2, you need a fitness watch or smartwatch that can capture all your exertion throughout the day. We use Garmin's, which we're going to refer to in this video. This is purely so that we can track all your daily exertion, your movement, your running, all the stuff that happens, and you can track your workouts as well. Number 3 is you need a heart rate chest strap. So the reason for this is they are more accurate than your wrist-based trackers. The wrist-based trackers move about when you are doing strength training because your wrist does quite a bit of movement, which means it is not fully accurate. Also, wrist-based trackers or optical heart rate sensors sometimes miss those spikes and dips that happen when you're doing interval training. This is really important because we want to make sure we are as accurate as possible because we will base a lot of training around exertion. So I'm not going to go into the details. You can find this on the website, but you need to go into MyFitnessPal, create a profile, you put in your weight, your age, and fill in all the details, and you need to make sure that MyFitnessPal is connected to your Garmin account so that Garmin can send all the exercise data to MyFitnessPal, and in return, even though it's not that important, MyFitnessPal can send calorie data back to Garmin. Now, there's some very important information here. When you're setting your activity level, you need to set it to sedentary with 0 training per week, 0 activity. You are trying to tell MyFitnessPal that you do no training, you are sat doing absolutely nothing. At this point, you're meant to add your B.M.R, which we put in a minus 250 deficit. So whatever your B.M.R number is, you take 250 off that and put that in there as your daily calorie goal. We're going to rewind this very quickly and talk about B.M.R. Most people who track their calories start from something called T.D.E.E, total daily energy expenditure, and then they subtract as they go along. We're going the other way around. We start from B.M.R, as I talked about, and then we add on. You get a lot of fitness trainers saying you must not eat your net calories gained. We're going to do the opposite of that, which goes against conventional wisdom. So in Hannah's case, she'll be starting at somewhere around 1300 calories, which is very low. The minute she gets out of bed, goes for a walk, goes for a gym session, goes for a run, rides a bike, goes hiking, she is gaining more calories that she can eat, but we need to get some details correct. There are so many macro splits out there, but we use a 21% fat, 31% carbs, and 48% protein. When you take Hannah's sort of 1300 calories and put it in this split, it gives you the grammage that she needs to eat of all these items based off her B.M.R. But that's not the end of it. You need to tick the setting that says adjust calories based on activity. This is very crucial because we need it to keep on adjusting as she gets active during the day. Also, when you choose activities based on calories, you need to choose a custom split. There is enough scientific data on how your body burns calories and in what order. So we want to try and follow this as well as we can. In this case, the burn order is 55% carbs, 30% fat, and 15% protein. What that means is your body is giving you more calories to burn, it adjusts the splits up and down, with the protein split increasing the least of the others. Well, now you're saying, where's the training plan? It is a push, pull, legs, upper, lower, 5 days. And the reason why we've chosen that is it gives Hannah 2 days to use as a rest day, to go running, to hike, walk, whatever, but 5 days of strength training. Before I go any further, a quick word on cardio. Cardio is not a punishment. It is a target-driven decision that you have to make. Do I want to improve my heart health, my stamina, my movement quality, or is cardio simply as a way to burn calories? If it's the first one, which is my recommendation, then I would say take 1 or 2 days to incorporate some cardio, be it runs, rides, hikes, or walks, and you have the 2 days off to do that. That is essential to keep your heart health where it needs to be and keep you in the best condition. A second point to talk about is your core work. Good strength training is good core training. That said, if you want to directly target your core, I would suggest putting these 4 exercises into your rotation. The first one is the seated abdominal row, which targets the entire core with emphasis and controlled contraction. Then you've got the crossover crunch, which improves your rotational core strength, which is quite good. Then you've got your lying leg raise, which is great for building that lower ab definition. It's a lower ab focused body weight move. And then finally, I'd move to the hanging knee raise, which builds your lower abs, your grip, and your total core control. I would suggest you do these 2 or 3 times a week after your workout. So now we begin with the push day. I would start with a bench press. It's your compound barbell movement, which targets the chest. The incline emphasizes which area is being hit. So you could go with the flat shown here. You could go with an incline that emphasizes either your upper chest or the decline, which hits the lower chest. Your flat bench is of course the all-rounder, and it builds that pressing power and your chest mass. Next up, I'd move to the incline dumbbell press. This targets the upper chest and shoulders while allowing a greater range of motion than a barbell. It improves your muscle balance and it helps your upper chest shape. You've got the incline dumbbell chest fly. This isolates the chest using a wide arc motion to stretch and contract the pecs. It definitely enhances chest definition and the inner chest line. Then you've got the leaning chest dips. This is a bodyweight movement focusing on the lower chest and triceps. It improves your pushing strength and adds depth to the chest. You've got the reverse flies, which work the rear deltoids and your upper back muscles. This improves the posture, shoulder balance, and aesthetics. Then we move on to the shoulder press. This targets the front and side deltoids along with the triceps. I normally do this with a barbell because it builds your shoulder mass and overhead strength. You then move on to the Arnold press, which you do seated. That is a rotational shoulder press, working all 3 heads of the deltoids, and it's great for your rounded shoulder development. So that is 7 exercises that you're doing on a push day, and there's still a few left on the table which you can use to add some variety, or you could put them into the upper session later in the week. Other exercises include the seated dumbbell overhead press, which builds your shoulder size and strength, especially your front and side delts. It's joint friendly because you're seated, which gives stability, and it's great for progressive overload on your delt and triceps. You've then got the cable crossover, and you can also do a single arm cable crossover. These isolate and sculpt the chest. They're great for shaping the inner and outer pec with constant tension, and they are used for chest definition and muscular control. Then you move to the tricep rope pushdown, which targets all 3 heads of the triceps, especially the lateral head. It's essential for triceps with and that horseshoe shape. Then you've got the straight bar push down. This is similar to rope push downs, but with more emphasis on the long head of the triceps. It builds denser tris and complements your pressing strength. I also like to throw in the isolateral shoulder press. This strengthens the shoulders unilaterally, allowing for some controlled overload with a reduced risk of injury, and it helps correct imbalances between your left and your right side. So you can take these, as I said, and mix them into your push day, or take 3 or 4 of them for your upper day. Now let's go to pull. Again, 7 exercises. Firstly, you've got the pull-ups. Now you would go with wide or close grip, depending on your ability. The wide grip emphasizes the upper lats. The close grip hits the mid-back and arms more. You can use bands of support if needed, and it builds your vertical pulling strength and helps with that V-taper shape. Then you've got the lateral raises. This isolates the side delts for shoulder width and shape, and it creates cap shoulders and gives you that visual width. I also like the single arm dumbbell row. This is a unilateral movement that hits the lats, the rhomboids and the traps. It corrects your muscle imbalances and it helps improve posture. You can then do a bent over dumbbell row, which is a bilateral version engaging the full back. It increases your back thickness and helps with your pulling power. The next obvious one are the dumbbell bicep curls. They isolate the biceps through elbow flexion. This is a classic arm builder for shape and volume. Then we get to the skull crushers. This is a tricep extension done lying down. It targets all three heads of the tricep. And finally, we have the lat pull down. It's a machine version of pull-up with adjustable resistance. This is great for controlled activation. Same as before, I have another few exercises to give you that you can use for variety, but again, take 3 or 4 of them to use on your upper day. So the first one is the seated cable row, which strengthens the mid back, your rhomboids, your traps, while keeping tension throughout the full range. It improves your posture and your pulling endurance. Then you've got the single arm preacher curl, or you can do the EZ bar preacher curl. What they do is isolate the biceps with a strict controlled movement. They're great for bicep peak and arm symmetry. You've then got the isolateral front lat pull down. I love these. They train each side of the lats individually, or you can do them together, and they help with balance and growth. It really enhances the width and symmetry on the back. And then you've got the rope cable curl. These target both heads of the biceps and forearms with peak contraction. It increases arm size and helps your grip strength. The hammer curl, which focuses on the word I can never pronounce, which is the brachialis, and your forearms, adding thickness to those arms. It complements the standard curls for fuller arms. And then finally, you've got the shrugs. These are your trap builders. They add upper back thickness and neck to shoulder development, boosts your posture and helps your upper body mass. So there we've got it, the extra exercises in your pull routine. As you can see, this covers just about everything and gives you enough variety. Follow the descriptions to know what to do and what you can substitute for each other. So now let's move to the legs. Again, we're doing 6 or 7 exercises. Now with the legs, we're focusing on the quads, glutes, hamstrings, and calves. And we start with the Bulgarian split squat. This is a single leg movement targeting the quads, glutes, and balance. This replaces the back squat because Hannah doesn't do them and neither do I. And it helps with lower joint stress and high stimulus. We then move to the trap bar deadlift, which hits the posterior chain. That's the glutes, hamstrings, lower back. It's a safer alternative to conventional deadlifts, which is ideal for power and strength. Next up is the standing dumbbell calf raise, which targets the outer calf. It builds lower leg size and helps with your ankle stability. I then move very quickly to the kettlebell goblet squat. I need Hannah to be quad focused in this variation. It's also important for core activation, great for your form, great for depth, and it's knee friendly when squatting. We then move to a weighted hip thrust, which is a glute isolation exercise. It maximizes glute growth and strengthens that hip drive. Then there's a leg extension, which isolates the quads, especially the rectus femoris, excellent for shaping and targeting that knee extension. The finishing point is the lying leg curl. This is hamstring focused and done in a machine. It helps build that posterior chain and reduces that injury risk. Now you might think, where's the leg press? Where's this? Where's that? Those are there for the variety. You would use them, again, like in all the previous instances, to get yourself some variety. Let's take you through those. You've got the leg press, which is your quad dominant compound leg builder. It allows for heavy, safe loading to grow your quads, glutes, and hamstrings. You've got the seated leg curl, which gives you hamstring isolation while the hip remains stable. It's good for controlled hamstring development and injury prevention. Next, you've got the seated calf raise, which targets the soleus muscle. That's the deep calf, which contributes to long-term lower leg growth. You can then add the Smith machine calf raise, which allows you for a heavier load on the calves because less balance is needed. It's used for maximum overload and helps with hypertrophy of the calf. You've got the front lunges and the rear lunges. They're functional leg movements, great for targeting the quads and glute while challenging balance and mobility. They're great for unilateral strength and for injury prevention. And finally, you've got the leg press calf raise, which combines machine stability with high rep calf work. It's a great burnout finisher for calf endurance and size. So I guess an easy weekly structure would be push, pull legs, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. A rest day where you could do cardio, go for a walk, go for some stretches. Upper, lower, which would be your Friday, Saturday. And then you've got Sunday as another rest day, cardio day, etc. So I think that would be the perfect routine, and that's kind of what Hannah follows. So Hannah trained for 90 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And what worked for her was she had a clear goal at the start. She was smart with her calorie and macro tracking, and she had a concise, structured but variable training plan. The big thing was not perfection, it was consistency. All this training happened every morning before she got ready to be in the office for 8:30, and it worked. If this video was helpful in any way, please leave a comment below, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll respond. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe so you get to see more of my videos, hit the bell icon so you're notified whenever I post, and thank you so much for watching and take care.